Every day, you do things to keep the children in your care safe and healthy. You check the identification of people on the pickup list. You have visitors to the program sign in upon arrival and sign out when they leave. And you obtain parental permission to take children on field trips. Giving medication is no exception. That's why the first thing you need to do is get written permission from the parent and written instructions from the healthcare provider. We call this the written and written rule. OCFS has a written medication consent form for you to give to parents to fill out. If you don't want to use the OCFS form, you can create your own, but it must include all of the same information that's on the OCFS form and must be included in your approved healthcare plan. Your program may also accept permission and instructions not written on the OCFS form or a program-specific form, but check your approved healthcare plan to see what your program has said it will do to accept this information. When you get a consent form from the parent, make sure all of the sections on the form are filled out. And as you review the form, be sure you understand the instructions the healthcare provider wrote. If the healthcare provider has told you to look at the package insert for side effects or special instructions, make sure the parent gives you the insert and you are able to find this information. All instructions should be clearly written and abbreviations should not be used. There is a list of common abbreviations in your handouts as a resource, but always be sure to ask the parents for more information if you don't understand what is written. Make sure the healthcare provider signed the form, and be sure to check the date the healthcare provider has written to stop giving the medication. Consent forms must be renewed at least once every 6 months for children who are under 5 years old. For children 5 years and older, consent forms must be renewed every 12 months. So for a child who is under 5 years of age, if the discontinuation date on the form is more than 6 months from the date the instructions were written, the parent will need to bring you a new form in 6 months. For a child age 5 or older, if the discontinuation date on the form is more than 12 months from the date the instructions were written, the parent will need to bring you a new form in 12 months. Also, make sure the parent has signed the back of the consent form, giving you permission to give the medication. If the healthcare provider didn't write a specific hour to give the medication on the form, be sure to have the parent do so. OCFS has a log of medication administration you will use to write down any doses of medication you give. The log has all of the required information you need to write down when you give medication. If you choose to use another form, make sure it has all of the same information as on the OCFS form. Always remember that you will need to fill out a separate log for each medication you are giving the child. When writing in the log, always write in ink. Always write down the dose you gave, what time you gave it, and then sign the log. You need to write your complete signature. Initials are not acceptable. Be sure to write down this information immediately after the child takes the medication. This way, you won't forget to do it. If you give an as-needed medication, such as an inhaler or EpiPen, be sure to write down why you gave the medication. State the symptoms you observed, such as shortness of breath or difficulty breathing. If you notice a child is having side effects after taking a medication, be sure to meet the child's immediate needs. Then go back to the log and write down what you observed and that you notified the child's parent. Giving medication to children can sometimes be difficult, but no matter what, never force a child to take a medication. If the child refuses to take a dose or you cannot give it safely, write down in the log that you did not give the dose and the reason why. There may also be times when the child shows symptoms that the health care provider's instructions state as reasons why you should not give the medication. If this is the case, write down in the log that you did not give the medication you were supposed to give and the reason why. Remember, anytime you don't give a medication you are responsible for giving, whether it's because the child refuses, it can't be given safely, or the child shows symptoms that the healthcare provider has indicated are reasons why the child should not get the medication, Write down that you did not give the medication that you were supposed to give and the reason why. And be sure to let the parent know immediately. There is a section on the log to write down all missed doses. Sometimes, children may get a dose of medication before they arrive in your care. Always write this down in the child's log so you'll know when to give the next dose. If a family member comes to the program to give the child a dose, write down the medication, dose, and time it was given by the family member. Unfortunately, we all make mistakes. If you make a mistake when writing in the log, all you need to do is cross out the incorrect information with a single line and write error with your initials next to it. Then write the correct information. Do not use correction fluid. Keeping the children in your care safe and healthy is your top priority. To do this when giving medication, it's vital to get written permission from the parents and written instructions from the child's healthcare provider. Having this information in writing is an important communication tool that can really make a big difference to you and the children in your care. So always remember to follow the written and written rule when getting permission to give medication.